So yesterday we had orientation program, and then we were able to talk about what we expected of us for this program. Today we are going straight to our first lecture, which is the changing roles of leaders in this modern age. Of course, you agree with me that the school leadership of the year 2000 or the school leadership of the 20th century is different from the 21st century, because the learners, the parents, the conditions, the factors, and everything generally is changing, and therefore leaders must be adaptive, they must be flexible, they must be agile, they must be creative and innovative to actually achieve something worthwhile. So in today's class, we have a special person who will be dissecting for us the roles of leaders in this 21st century. And then, of course, our resource person today is Mrs. Rebecca Adeyemo. Mrs. Rebecca Adeyemo is the head of education at Trinity Schools of Father, Ogun State, Nigeria. She has over 30 years experience in school leadership, and then under her watch, our school has risen to the pinnacle, the peak of excellence achievement as far as school and school administration is concerned. She's an expert. Of course, we call her leader of leaders. She's one of the persons I personally also look up to, because she's a mother who has vast experience, and of course, she has used that experience to nurture leaders across board. So permit me to introduce to us and welcome Mrs. Rebecca Adeyemo. She will be taking us through today's class. You are welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Emerald. Good evening, everyone. It is always interesting to learn, and I'm happy to be here. I'm a lover of learning, and I believe every teacher must love learning because we want our students to learn. I have limited time, so I will just dash straight to what we have to do today. My name is Rebecca Adeyemo. I'm the Director of Education, Trinity International College. And I've been in the teaching industry for a number of years. And I'm a certified life skill trainer. I'm trying to share before I start. I'm a certified life skill trainer. I'm sharing my screen now. I believe we should be able to see it now. Can we see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. But I'm not okay. Let me go back and do something. Okay, can we still see it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. I'm a certified life skill trainer. I'm a career analyst. I'm a teacher trainer. I'm a youth enthusiast, and I'm a recovery ally when it comes to substance use and a substance use prevention expert. So good evening. I believe we are going to have a good time this evening. Before I dash into the reality of our time, the changing role of the school leader, you are not just a teacher. We are not just teacher. We are not just school leader. In those days, in the traditional old days, we see ourselves as a decaying, carrying, scarecrow individual that the child will run from. But we in the present time, we are more than that. The role of the school teacher has not just changed, it has been completely redefined. It has been completely redefined. What made you successful yesterday may quietly make you irrelevant today. Leadership is no longer about managing a school. It is about designing the future. Leadership is about designing the future. So we can say, you can call yourself an architect, because me, I'm an architect. There was a time on CNN, there was a documentary about the man who designed the Singapore airport. I believe we all know that the Singapore airport is one of the best in the world. I've not been there, but I've seen the picture. I was watching CNN. He was so proud. He was proud of the work that he has done. So as a teacher, we are even more than that. We are more than that. So, because we are agents of transformation, the 21st century teacher is an agent of transformation. So the objective that we want to achieve today is to understand how school leadership has evolved from administrative control to strategic influence. In those days, the principal would just stay in his or her office. He's in charge, he's in control. Everybody must obey. He or she that must be obeyed. Then let's identify the new competencies required of 21st century school leaders. Number 3, we will develop a leadership mindset shift to navigate uncertainty, complexity, and rapid change. Of course, this number 3 help those principals who are adaptable to quickly take their school to the next level during the COVID-19, and will create a personal leadership transformation plan. At least let's see what we'll be able to do, the changes we'll be able to bring for the next 90 days. So as a teacher, let me start from here. As a leader, if you are a teacher, you are a leader. We have leaders of 5, we have leaders of 10, we have leaders of 20, we have leaders of 100, leaders of 1,000. We are all leaders because we bring influence to the table. You are a nation builder. You lay the foundation of tomorrow. You are the hope carrier. Every word you speak plants belief in a child. You are a cycle breaker. You dismantle poverty. You dismantle ignorance and inequality through education. The school leader is a future sculptor. You shape raw potential into brilliance. I was a teacher of economics, and I would speak so much about economics such that my students, one day they came, they said they wanted me to go to be in the Senate. Oh, leave this teaching, go to the Senate. And during the period I was teaching economics in SS3, the best of my students were studying economics in the university. A parent came one day and said, Mr. Adeyemo, what is your problem? Myself and my son, we discussed that he was going to study electrical engineering in the university. Now he's saying he wants to do economics. What is the meaning of this? Because I'm a designer. I'm a future sculptor. I shape raw potential into brilliance. Please, I will not be able to on my video because of internet. We have issue here. Then you are a dream defender. You protect and nurture children's aspiration. You are a mindset shifter. You awaken possibility in those who doubted themselves. Some children, they don't even believe in themselves, but by your word, they believe in themselves and they have gone to make it big in the world. In those days, we used to divide our students according to strength. Those who are at the lower ability strength, teachers will call them olodo, this and that. But a time came that I discovered that those set of students are always the first to make it in life. You know what? I dismantle that. So you as a school leader, you are a mindset shifter. You are waking possibility in those who doubted themselves. You are the torch bearer. You light paths in classroom that will one day light the world. You are a curriculum transformer. You make books come alive with relevance because you always attach real life to whatever your teachers are teaching. You are a community anchor. You steady families, villages, and cities through education. Yes, you are a counselor. You settle quarrel. You are a legacy creator. Your influence will echo for generations. Look at Mrs. Ogunde that just died. She's a legacy creator. Then you are a destiny shaper. Hey, if somebody's education is expensive, let the person try ignorance. Every lesson your teacher delivers is an investment in the doctors, engineers, leaders, and innovators of tomorrow. So that is who you are. And you are even more. You are more than that. Now, the changing role of the school leader. We are living in a time that we can describe as there's a great separation in education. You are a leader not because you are the principal or you have titles. Titles doesn't create a leader these days in schools. Not by titles, not by years of experience, but by readiness, relevance, and result. Knowledge is no longer scarce. Do we know that? Knowledge is no longer scarce. Because knowledge is no longer scarce, what should happen to our leadership? It must evolve. Our leadership must evolve. Because there is a shift. Knowledge is everywhere now. So we all have to go back to learning because it is no longer optional. Authority is F is An. In those days, the principal of those days, once the principal is coming, everybody will be running. Nobody cares these days. If you are not relevant, if you can't produce results, if you are not relevant at pushing your teacher forward or giving results, not the ones achieved by cheating you, you are not relevant. So there's a shift. Technology is redefining learning. We can all see what AI is doing. Experience is no longer enough. If you say, I have 30 years of experience, I started teaching before that young boy. Is that what we are talking? Nobody is talking about the years of Methuselah. Now we are talking about the wisdom of Solomon. If we are leading learning, because we are leading learning, you are not leading a school, you are leading learning. If teachers must evolve, then school leaders must evolve first. Not just evolve, they must do that very fast. So the leadership reality, and that is the leadership reality. Leaders set the ceiling for school growth. You cannot give what you do not have. If you want school to grow, you yourself, you must grow. A principal was complaining the other time that, my teachers, they don't know anything. They don't change. And I'll put a question to him. When last has he sponsored himself for a training? He said, the school owners, they don't even want to train. I said, when last have you have you trained yourself? Have you sat in the class? Have you been in the class to learn? When last? He said he's always too busy. 70% of his work is in the office. I said 70% of your work is in the office. You have failed. You are an old school principal. You cannot succeed. So he couldn't give what he doesn't have. Teachers follow what you model. If you just sit in your office, teachers will go to class, they will just do garbage in, garbage out, and that is all. Not just what you say. Change must flow from the top. You must be the first to change. It is the leadership in a school that set the ceiling for school growth. You cannot give what you don't have. It is not possible. You see, the leadership in a school, either teacher, the school owner, or the principal, or the school administrator, they are like thermostat and the thermometer, you know. Leaders must set the standard. Thermometer just react. Thermometer will measure temperature. If there's too much of sun, the temperature will go up. If it is down, the temperature will go down. Leaders are not thermometer. They are the thermostat. They are proactive. They set the standard. So if your teachers, the principal says teacher, they are not changing. They are not changing. They have a fixed mindset. I say, well, you change your mindset. When you change your mindset, you will change their own mindset. During COVID-19, when the school, before Lagos State went on lockdown before Ogun State, and I just looked forward. Then I was the principal, I had an administrator. We were doing admission. The administrator said, don't forget the student that just gained admission, we must retain them, so that it was March that time. I said, more than that, we have work to do. I went to the IT person. Our LMS, what is it capable of doing? When he explained to me, I discovered it was capable of doing nothing. Yeah. So I told the administrator that we have work to do if we must retain the students. So I told the administrator that this is what I want to do for the next 1 week. We don't know whether the lockdown will reach us. We were coming to school in the morning and we were training. We trained for 7 days. When the student, depart school to the hostel, we sit, we do training for 7 days. After that 7 days, incidentally, the following week, the lockdown got to Ogun State. So we now ask the student to go home. The lecture will happen the week after. You know what? Online, I saw a volunteer online teacher, and I register all my teachers to do the online teaching. With the training we have done, the rest is history. One more thing I did as a pace setter then, as students were learning online, each of the students, I attached about 60 students. We had about 80 teachers. I attached about 6 or 8 students to a teacher, for those teachers to be following up on them in the class. So every day we were giving classroom report to parents. Students who will not come for class, classes was online then. Students who will not report in class, students who will be talking, students who will not submit the assignment, we were giving real-time report to parents every day, Monday to Friday. That is the work of the leader, not the ones. So if students were not in class, if I wasn't in class, will teachers be in class? They know that I would be in class, so they were in class. So the role of the 21st century leader has evolved. We've moved from being an administrator to learning architect. You are an architect. From being a controller to culture builder. From running a school to designing a learning ecosystem. You are designing a learning ecosystem. I told the principal, I said, see, if all what our students are coming to school to do is just to learn physics, chemistry, biology, math, economics, account, and they do exam, they go home, we have failed. Okay, we call ourselves a Christian school. If all we have to do is to pray, they speak in tongue, they go, I say we have failed. There must be some other things that we must do. The children are going to operate in a world where communication is important, where collaboration is important, where critical thinking is important, where creativity is important. So as a school leader, you must involve to include all the 4 C's of learning, 4 C's of 21st century learning into the curriculum. Now I discovered that we have a leadership problem in Nigeria. Our leaders lead like rulers, like the Obas. The Obas, they were maximum rulers in those days. You know, the Obas can take over people's farm, people's wives. So we transit into leadership now, and they are still ruling the same way. So I discovered that the problem we have in Nigeria, we have a leadership problem. Leadership is about influence. We have rulers, we don't have leaders. You know what I did? I registered all the students I search for a leadership curriculum that can be run, that can go pari passu with the school curriculum. And the student register for it. For a year, they have 24 modules of leadership curriculum that they will run. And it is controlled from the international world. So we put that decision making is there. They know how to make their choice, a whole lot. So as a leader of learning, we must evolve. Yesterday, the leader stand as an administrator. Today, the leaders must be an architect of learning, not just physics, chemistry, biology, but to prepare students for the world of work that is waiting tomorrow. You know what? When I discovered that the children and their parents are always saying, they are always saying, I want to do this subject. I want to be in art. I want to be in commercial. And students will they will pick subject based on influence of their peer. And some parents will also pick subject based on the knowledge, based on their own knowledge, not from informed point of view. And to be able to know which subject children should pick, there are 5 factors that must be looked at. We must look at the ability of that child, the values of that child, and of a system of feeding, a system of assignment, a system of note, a system of finishing the curriculum, a system of assessment, continuous assessment. There must be system. Once you build system, everybody will know. It is easy for teachers and staff to know whether they are in or whether they are out. But when there is no system, when no structure is built, you'll be running scatter. People will work so much, creator, because your decisions will outlive you. Now, there are critical shifts in leadership from the old school, where we see the principal as the administrator, as the policy enforcer who is only interested in writing query, in sacking, as the authority figure that everybody fear, or as the routine driven. Have you submitted your lesson note, lesson plan? That is all. You focus on operation. 24/7 is in the office. There must be a shift. We have those 4 critical shifts. Shift from authority to clarity. Tell them what you want. agree before the beginning of the term. This is what we want. Leadership is no longer position, but it comes with clarity. Power is no longer in your position, but in your clarity, clear thinking, clear communicate, clear communication, clear decision. Once you say this is what we want, this is our goal, our vision for the term, you put it down, you sign it, everybody sign it, then we run with it. But if it is a year, we do this today, we do this tomorrow. No, everybody will be confused. If it is 3 assignments per week or 3 classwork per week, let there be clarity, so that teachers can self-assess themselves. The students themselves can self-assess themselves. So their leadership, there must be, it is about clarity. It's not everybody doing it the way they feel, or you feel you have authority to catch the thief. No, the principal or the school leadership is not about catching the thief. It's about communication, it's about direction, it's about critical thinking, it's about clarity. There must be shift from compliance to competence. In the old school, they follow instruction. If the principal said there must be assembly, there will be assembly. If he said there won't be assembly, there will not be assembly. But you demonstrate impact now. Compliance keep the school running, yes, but competence is what makes it excellent. Competence is what makes it excellent. Are you competent? Are you competent? Then mind shift 3. From control to influence. When they see that even the principal is in class as a leader, as an instructional leader in the classroom, the teacher will not come late to the class. You are inspiring them when they know that even you yourself, you will not sit in the office. You inspire your line and you empower your team. You cannot control modern educators, but when everything is stated in black and white and everyone signs, nobody will want to be in trouble. That is one thing I've discovered. Okay, we hold a meeting. This is what we are going to do this term. We all agree on it. Then I produce a document, everybody signs it, and the rest is story. Then you must inspire, align, and empower your teacher. Mind shift 4, experience and adaptability. Somebody, a principal told me that day, I say, your supervision is not enough, that you are a leader of learning. He told me he's very busy, that 70% of his work is administration. I say, you've missed it if you believe that 70% of your work is administration. I said 70 or 60% of your work is instructional. You must be there. You must lead learning. You are checking. You must lead learning. You are a leader of yesterday. If you focus on managing just system, you just sit in your office, you are a leader of yesterday. You are not a leader of today. So there must be a mind shift. So the instructional leadership, so it is about being an instructional leadership. You drive teaching quality. Not that some students, the notes are complete, lesson note is complete, everything is complete, yet there's no result. You are training as an instructional leader. You are training, you are encouraging, you are monitoring outcome, you are supporting teachers with everything, you are visible, you are working on the vision and values of the school. As a 21st century leader, our work has moved from traditional to being a strategic thinker. Somebody told me that in a particular bank, no wonder that bank is leading. They employ some people. They just put them in a room, in an office, just to think about new product. They have no other thing than thinking about new product. As a leader, you are a strategic, you must be a strategic thinker. You plan for long-term growth, innovation, and sustainability. You anticipate trends, you identify risks, and you align school vision with future demand. Now we have the problem of LGBT in Nigeria. We have the problem of substance use. That's why I went for all these trainings and I became satisfied so that I can come home, teach my teachers, and we will know that any child who would graduate from our school, they have some values because I've been able to think ahead. We balance needs with future goal. You balance immediate needs with future goal. You're outcome driven. You are not just interested in compliance. Okay, teachers are in school by 7:30, but is teaching really taking place? You're outcome driven. Okay, note is complete. Is learning, as learning taking place, outcome driven. What are you doing with data? What are you doing with data? Are you working with data? Are you working with data? Are your decisions database? So the 21st century leader is outcome driven. He measures success by tangible learning outcome, student growth, and school performance. He uses data to inform decisions and improve practices. He focuses on results, not just activities or compliance. Now I want us to go to the chat room. Between being a strategic leader, an administrative leader, instructional leader, those are the three types that you must be. As a 21st century leader, you must be an instructional leader. That is, you are training your teachers, you are looking into what the students are doing, you are interested in learning, you are doing a walkthrough, you are entering the classroom, you are checking student notes. That is instructional leadership. Then administrative, how the school is being run, answering mails, checking, receiving visitors, answering questions. That is administrative. Then strategic, you are working on the vision and mission. If you are thinking about tomorrow, you are planning. I want you to go into the chat room. Which one should take most of our time? I want you to put percentages into it. Mr. Lekon, you will read it. Mr. Emra, you will read it out for me. Which one should carry the highest weight out of all these functions? Out of all these functions, what percentage should instructional, which is your main area, which percentage should it take? Let's unmute and answer. Which percentage should instructional leadership, percentage of your time, should instructional leadership take? Hello? What percentage of your time should your instructional leadership, what percentage of your time must it take as an instructional leadership? What percentage of time do you think you must concentrate or deploy to following up on learning? Training teachers, what percentage? Well, good evening. What percentage, please? What percentage? Well, as an instructional leader, the percentage of your time, 50 or 60% of your time must be concentrated to being an instructional leader. You are following up on the learning. You are following up on learning. Then strategic, maybe 20%. Administrative, maybe 30%. Administrative is what you do when you are in the office. When you stay in the office, that is what you do when you stay in the office. Administrative, thank you. Instructional 25. No. Instructional 60, administrative 20. Thank you very much. Instructional 60% is okay. Administrative 20 or 30%, and strategic 20%. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the instructional leadership drives teaching quality, monitor outcome, and support teachers. The strategic leadership set direction, you plan growth, and you build sustainable systems, which you can do anytime. Then the people and culture leadership, you build teams, you manage performance, you shape school culture, and this is part of instructional leadership too. And of course, we now have digital leadership. You must lead in digital learning, because technology must be integrated. You must lead AI, AI must be adopted. You must prepare students for the future, not just teaching physics, chemistry, biology. You must build systems, because if you don't build systems, you may not be able to delegate. You create structures that will outlive you. You create processes, and you focus on sustainability. Now, leading in complexity. Honestly, we are in a complex time. We're in a complex time because everything is changing. Parents have changed, students have changed. Do you know the number of parents that come to school, that goes to school to beat up teachers, or that take teachers to court, or school owners to court? So we are teaching in a complex time. Leaders, you are leading in a time of complexity. So you must be adaptable. You must not have a fixed mindset. You must be easily adaptable. And how can you be adaptable if you don't learn? You must have emotional intelligence. Everything is not dealt with in anger. Some teachers can test your patience. You calm down. Some parents, some students can try your patience. That is where emotional intelligence comes in. And you must be resilient. You must be resilient. You must not give up easily. Yesterday's leaders, they are stable. They depend on routine. They command authority. They focus on compliance and daily operation. But tomorrow's leader, they are strategic, they are adaptability. They inspire growth. Hey, Mr. Lagbaja, you are the one that will be in charge of this. You can do this. They focus on outcomes, and so on and so forth. Now, so we are talking about leading complex system, leading complex school environment. Yes, because today environment is fast changing, emotionally demanding, digitally influenced, and academically pressured. Everybody in those days will fail exam, but these days everybody must pass. So whatever it will take, apart from cheating, apart from examination malpractices, no waiting, no stopping, you must keep moving. So burnout is not always from too much work. It is often from lack of structure and clarity. In these days of complex systems, if you don't have complex school environment, if structures are not in place, you will be busy, you will not be effective, you will be active, you will not be strategic. So like we say, we've give percentages to a balanced leadership model. We say, okay, your instructional leadership must carry the highest percentage anyway. So what should be the mindset of the modern school, the mindset of the modern school leader? You must be a lifelong learner. We've spoken about that. You are training. You are training, you are reading, you are learning. You must be a lifelong learner. Reflection is your survivor. Every week, you set your goal. If you are a leader, you must have a to-do, and you must train your teachers and students to have a to-do. You must have a to-do, or else if you don't have a to-do list, you will just sit down you will just sit down in the office. You must be a lifelong learner. You must reflect. You cannot keep quiet because you don't want to offend. Comfort is dangerous. Adaptability is power. What is the new thing that is happening in the world? You must learn and train. So you must be, the greatest risk today is not failure, it is stagnation. You must not be a stagnant leader. Then, as a leader, what must you stop doing as a leader? I want you to go into the chat room. What must you stop doing as a leader? What must you stop doing as a leader? I'm going to put some assessment in the chat room now. Go into the chat room. What must you stop doing as a leader? Are we putting it there? Let's go to the chat room. I'm putting some assessment questions there. Which of these will best describe your leadership today? Authority, control, experience, or clarity? Let me see. Can we answer that? Which one best describe your leadership today? Hello?
Okay, I think everybody is here. So
Okay.
please so ensure that you are putting ensure that you are putting your answers. They are reflective questions so that our facilitator can.
Authority, control, experience, or clarity. For that, it is clarity. Experience of yesteryears does not really matter now. It is clarity as a leader. It is clarity. The one what you need more of now is clarity of is it clarity of or control? It is clarity. Let the student know expectations. Let the teachers know expectation. When everybody knows the expectation and they sign up on what the expectations are, it will be easy for you to do your work. Now, which is more common in your school? Finish the scheme or ensure students understand? Is it just for us to finish the scheme or to ensure students understand? Thank you. Clarity is very, very important. Which is more important? Finish the scheme or ensure students understand? We must ensure students understand. But you will tell me that to finish the scheme is also important. Yes, it is also important to finish the scheme. But it is also important to finish the scheme. But the driver of result is to ensure students understand. If you want to ensure students understand, then there must be a structure put in place for maybe weekly tests. That test may be 10 minutes, maybe 15 minutes, maybe 20 minutes, or bi-weekly tests when the teacher is in class. I remember one of my teachers in the university, when it was during exam, yes, ensure students understand is the most important because it is easy to rush the student or ask them to copy the note and you say you have finished the scheme, but as learning taking place, so every school term We sit down, we know the number of tests that the student must do. The more tests, the more assignment, the more classwork they do, the more engagement they do. It is only an instructional leader that can ensure this. The more engagement the students have with the learning material, with what you are teaching them, the more successful the outcome. But if you are interested in just finishing the syllabus, wow, you may not achieve so much. I have okay. I want us to do some small self-assessment again. I'm rounding up. Just check the chat room again. This is a personal leadership assessment. Domain 1, vision and values. Just read it.
Okay.
Vision and values, if you are emerging, that is the lowest. Maybe you are an emerging leader, or you are proficient, you are exemplary. I want us to look at it and see where we are. Exemplary is the best. Emerging is the lowest. So let's look at it. I'm rounding up. Let's look at it and score ourselves. I will just put everything there. Let's read it all. We have 10 domains in which we can use in scoring educational leadership. So personal leadership self-assessment for professional standard for education leaders. Let's look at it. Domain 1 is vision and values. Do you know the vision and values of your school? Then ethics and professional norms. Are you imagining? Domain 3, equity and cultural responsiveness. I treat all students safe, regardless of background. In our school, there was a time we made head boy and head girl Igbo. The second year, because I look at it that we don't have Hausa, we don't have Yoruba or Igbo students. They are all students. And one staff say, next year, it must be this culture that we are saying, I will sack you. For me, I don't have Hausa, I don't have Igbo, I don't have Yoruba. Domain 4 is instructional leadership. Domain 4 is instructional leadership. Just look at it and score yourself. We have 10 domains. I wish I can post everything. If I can't post everything, I will give them to Emerald to post later, maybe on the platform. Then community of care, that is social, emotional intelligence. No bullying from staff, no bullying from students. Just assess yourself. Then domain 6, professional capacity and distributed leadership. Do you delegate? You can't do everything. You don't know everything. We can learn from the student. We can learn from the teachers. Just look at those and score yourself. Then family and community engagement. Every time I set a goal that I must organize meeting for every year group. So I must meet with parents of Basic 7, Basic 8, Basic 9, SS1, SS2, SS3, at least once in half term, so that if they have any problem, they can discuss it before we get to the PTA. I will not wait for problem to happen. So family and community engagement. And part of my family and community engagement goal is to also give feedback to the parent about the activities of their children so that they will be part of it. So every 2 weeks, I send emails home to parents that this is the work your child is doing, this is his attribute, because we are in a full boarding school. So I tell the principals, you must mail the parent, the ones that are doing. So reflection summary for report based on check boxes. Your strength area, which domain had most exemplary checks? Why does this come natural to you? Your growth area, which domain had the most emerging check? What is the specific action you can take? So we are in a training so that we can learn. We should all have exemplary, but we are growing. Whether you are exemplary or you are not, we are growing. We are growing. So the critical leadership shift: clear thinking, communication, clear direction. You must demonstrate impact in your school. You can't control modern educators, like I said. You must influence them. Thank you very, very much. You must engage parents as partners. You must build trust. You must manage the school reputation. So balancing the role with balance. I've said that your role as an instructional leader must carry the highest percentage. From today, your place is not that office. Your place is where the children are, so that you are observing, you are learning, you are training, the teacher is learning. So lifelong learning is compulsory. You must reflect. So as a leader, in your journal, I want you to script this down. I'm rounding up. I'm finishing in the next 1 minute. What must I stop doing as a leader? What must you stop doing as a leader? What must you start doing as a leader? What must you continue doing as a leader? What leadership practices are you going to change? What are your strongest leadership assets? So you can journal that down. What will you be doing? So education is changing, schools are changing, children are changing. The only question is, are you changing? The future will not be led by the most experienced teachers, leaders, but by the most prepared. We must prepare for the future. When we are talking about everything, the job of the future, you must have a say in it. Do not return to your school as an administrator. Return as a designer of transformation. In our school, we've developed curriculum for almost everything. We develop curriculum for sex. We develop curriculum for almost everything. Now that the children are at home, I've given them assignment, not classroom assignment. Every day I communicate assignment that students and parents will do together, so that children that are in boarding school, their parent will be able to engage with them. So every day I'm sending in what I want them to do each day, and the students have been asked to journal. That is part of the engagement. Thank you for listening. God bless you.
Wow. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Please wait, a clapping emoji. Can we appreciate Mrs. Adeyemo? It was an eye-opening session. What's an eye-opening session? Explaining to us and giving us deep insight into the changing role of school leadership. Thank you so much, Ma. We would love to, if you have questions, of course, like we said here, one of the things we want to do, we are going to provide you with a workbook that you can work with. We also provide you with a journal. So thank God she's mentioning journal now. We have it in place already. You must journal. Okay. You must journal everything you have learned, what you are going to change, what you are going to run with, what you are going to drop. And of course, I've also indulged to give us this personal leadership self-assessment, so that we also score. We run a data for.
Okay, I will send it to you.
We run the data and then we give our feedback. So these are some of the things that will help us make some certain decisions, not to be administrators again, but to be transformers, because that is what school leadership is all about. But to go ahead first, let's have questions. If you have questions, just signify. And like I told you yesterday, part of our classroom is that anybody with question, you signify, and then we give the audience. So do we have anybody with question? I want to ask our facilitator. Questions? Questions? Do we have anybody with question? Anybody with question? Okay, I guess we do not have questions. Okay. Okay. And that on that note, once again, I want to say a very big thank you to Mrs. Adiemo, our mama, who has taken time to go deep, give us this deep insight. And like we have been rightly exposed, it is important that we understand this new role and then start to play them. And like I usually tell school leaders, that the first form of growth is when you realize a need for growth. She mentioned something that really struck me. The 24 said, we are not going to lead by experience now. Because one of the things you hear is that, oh, I've been a school leader for 25 years. I have been this, I have been that. So it's not going to be business as usual. It must lead from that experience now to designers. You are going to shape how your school will look like, how your teachers will look like, how your students will look like. You are going to shape how the future of everybody, all the stakeholders in that school. And then, by the grace of God, we are going to be talking about one particular. As you are designing and shaping, you are increasing three things. I will talk about that. Number one, you are going to increase the economic and the market value of your school. You are going to increase the economic value of your student. I usually tell school leaders that if by the time your student finish with you and then nothing has changed about it, they cannot compete regularly. You have not done anything as a school. If only thing they can do is to talk about chemistry, talk about what's it called, and they are not adding anything to the economy of the country. You have not done anything as a school. So one of the things that this thing has exposed us to now is to first identify our own self. And of course, as we are identifying ourselves, know the role we are supposed to play. The role that is for us, the role that is for our students, the role that is for our teachers, the role that is for our parents, the role that is even for our community. And then we are able to design everybody's role and ensure everybody is taking their own part while we are also doing our own part as well. And I believe that now we are going to go back and do a self-reflection where you have been good. You see how you are going to improve it. Where you have not been so good, you see what you can do to make it better. And that's the purpose why you are here. So, like I said, we are going to be dropping the leadership book for the month. We have 3 leadership books that we are going to read. We have for April, for May, and for June. We are going to drop the reflective journal that helps you to reflect on what we learned today. We are going to drop the workbook, and then of course, I'm going to connect the work from Ms. Adiemo, so we have enough work at our hands to do. And like we have said, tonight, I expect that on the platform, I would love us to do it at the platform. Tonight, we are going to what's it called? We are going to elect our leaders. We are going to elect our leaders. So I want us to drop. We are going to drop nominations. We just need 3 nominations. I expect that by now we should be able to have communicate and interact with people. And of course, we are going to do the election on the platform tonight. So tomorrow is another day, and then the way we design the program. Now you've heard more of that. You have to do more instructional leadership. And tomorrow, by the grace of God, our focus is now on instructional leadership, which will be facilitated by another expert from Ghana this time, Dr. Taimosa Martin. She will be leading us in instructional leadership, what it is and what we need to do to become a better instructional leader. This is core of our work as leaders of this modern time. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining. I don't want to waste our time too much, so we can, because there is a lot to do already, so we can get back to work immediately. Please don't forget, don't allow your work to come back. The workbook, work on it. Your journal, work on it. The what's it called? The reflective journal as well. The book, leadership book that you're supposed to read, and so on. Please, let's start so that the work will not come back. Like I told you, it's going to be, our work will be basically practical, so that we can gain more and become better. So thank you everyone for joining. You have a great night rest, and see you. We continue from here on the platform. Bye bye, everyone. Bye bye. Thank you.